All right, friends, I'm back, and it was a great meeting. I'm doing 2 sessions today. All right, I'm going to talk to you about something that escapes most of the guys I have known in business, all right? And it's a hard lesson to learn if you learn it the hard way. And I want to tell you right now, the best experience, or the best teacher, is not experience. The best teacher is somebody else's experience, okay? Some of the hard lessons, try to learn them from somebody else's hard experience. All right, I'm going to tell you a little story. So I used to be in the business of sold chimney liner and lots of stuff, chimney supplies, right? So, and my business was growing like gangbusters. I started out, and it just grew and grew and grew, and it grew fast. And it was nice. I mean, I was like, I loved it. I was having a great time growing this business. I did business with this company down in Georgia. And I got to the point where I was doing about $1 million a year worth of business with these people. And in fact, I was their second largest customer. Now, the first largest customer was General Electric at, like $50 million or something, right? But still, I was $1 million customer. And they treated me nice, really great to me. But I was getting behind in my bill, and I just kept going backwards in my bill, and backwards and backwards and backwards. And, it's like this month I would be, if terms were 30 days, I was at 40 days. The next month I was at 42 days. And then the following month I was at 44 days. This trend was continuing. I was getting longer. Anyway, I was out there to probably around 60 days consistently when I got a call from the president of this company. There was a real nice guy named Fred. Fred says, hey, listen, we really appreciate your business, but we can't be having this. So what are your plans to make it better? So I'd tell Fred about all the great things that are going on in my business, and I'm doing this, I'm doing that, and business is growing, and it's going to only get better. And Fred listens patiently to me. And when I was all finished, it was just kind of quiet. And Fred was a quiet man. And Fred says, well, there's a P&L for you. You don't know how to do cash flows, do you? And I said, no, but I heard of them. And Fred taught me how to do a cash flow right there over the telephone. And then this was before I had an Excel, this is early on, no computers, or not like we have them today. Anyhow, I didn't have a spreadsheet to work it out on. I did it the hard way with a paper and a pencil and many, many, many hours of just digging through stuff. And here's an offer. You can ask me to help you with cash flow specifically. It's way more than I'm going to get into on a video, okay? But there's a difference between cash flow and profit. And you need to know that there's a difference between cash flow and profit. Let me tell you what profit is. And I'm going to read from my notes, okay? Profit is when assets increase as measured in dollars, but not necessarily cash. All right, so, and you also notice that was as measured in dollars because there are other things that your business is building that are off of the balance sheet. And if you don't know squat about your balance sheet or even keep one, then that's okay, all right? Just sufficient to know that there are things that are not measured in dollars that are increasing or decreasing in your business. But we're talking about the ones that are measurable. And assets are basically your cash, your inventory, your hard assets, and what did I leave out? Accounts receivable. Those are your things. In a service business, you're going to have hard assets. You're going to have equipment and things like that, vans. You're going to have accounts receivable. People owe you money, right? But what did I just say? If it's not cash, you can't spend it. That's where this thing goes ultimately. Cash flow is just how much cash have you got. And you might have cash for all kinds of different reasons. I mean, good cash flow could include money that you borrowed. It includes, you could be actually losing money, but showing a profit because of depreciation, and that's okay if you don't understand that. It's all right. I just want to point out to you that cash flow is entirely different than profit. You could be having good profit and bad cash flow. You could be having pretty good cash flow and not profit. They're not the same. And the reason it's important to you to understand is because you may be running what seems like a pretty good business. If you find yourself saying, where in the world is the money? We're making money, but where is it? You know, it's someplace, okay, but you don't have the cash flow. And the only reason you'd be saying that is because you don't have the cash, all right? So the profit for a lot of us is in inventory or accounts receivable. Now, I remember the first time that came home to me, it was long before the story with Fred, was my business was growing, and so I increased my inventory. I mean, I spent every nickel I could on inventory because business was growing so fast. I wanted to make sure I had, you know, stuff to sell to my customers. When the phone rang, you want to be able to sell somebody, you know, ship it to them, right? Well, that first year when business grew and grew and grew and grew, it was time to pay taxes. And I was on the accrual accounting method, which if you don't understand is fine. Don't worry about that. But it means basically that, it means this: if you have a profit and you book the profit as soon as the sale is made, is what it amounts to, okay? So not when the cash finally comes in, which means that the accounts receivable were counted as profit. It means that the inventory was counted as profit. And it means that I didn't have any money to pay my taxes, right? So I would have been profitable and the government wanted the money and I didn't have any. All right, you can't pay your creditors, or in this, you know, like Fred, right? I couldn't pay Fred because I was building an inventory and I was building an accounts receivable faster than I was having cash to send to the people I owed it to or set it aside for the tax man. You will die without cash, and we'll discuss this some more, how you can improve your cash flow. But you need to understand this concept. I hope you do understand this concept. Listen to this a few times and discuss it with other people if you don't, because it's a really, really important thing for an expanding business to understand. All right? I'll come back with plenty more later on. See you then. Bye. Hey friends, I hope this was useful to you. Would you do something for me? Would you please share this with anybody you know that ought to hear it too? And then would you please give me the thumbs up and subscribe, right? That's kind of important on these things. Feel free to leave comments. All right, thanks a lot. And now get out there and do some winning.